Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get together live here on Facebook, where we have a look at headlines from our city, our state, and our country. We have a look at your comments and your questions and your ideas and your suggestions. And we take a look at you counting days to come back to Puerto Vallarta. For those of you that are not here, for those of us that are here, we look around and enjoy the increasing cooler weather as we start to dive into the fall season. And today, of course, it's Friday. Where is our Friday song?
Thank God it's.
Yes, thank God it's Friday. It's a great weekend in town, at least today and tomorrow. I don't know about Sunday just yet, but we'll get into that in a second. Today is Friday, October 21st. And as always, we welcome everyone that is joining us to spend some quality time here. If this is the first time that you've been with us live and you'd like to let us know, it helps a great deal if you write the word new, because that way you give us the opportunity to wish you a nice welcome to Coffee and Headlines. And if there's something truly important that you wish to share with us, add a capital letter Q at the beginning of your comment, and we will be so very happy to address your question or your comment in the second half of the broadcast. We don't have a lot to share today other than updated information about Roslyn, the tropical storm that is headed our way. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about a couple of news items as well. I'll show you some photographs that will I think they'll make you feel good. I have some great show and tell that I found online. And last but certainly not least, our much anticipated our much anticipated interview of with Charlie of the new Let's Pho PV, the new Vietnamese restaurant located right in front of Plaza Lázaro Cárdenas. We'll get to that in the second half of the broadcast. But first, let's do the news. Well, as predicted, Roslyn evolved into a tropical storm yesterday and is expected to continue gaining strength today as it nears the coast of Jalisco and Nayarit. The storm is expected to become a Category 2 hurricane before touching land near our bay sometime on Sunday in the morning, according to the projections. Boom, boom, boom. And although the trajectory, this is important, the trajectory looks rather similar to that of Hurricane Kenneth 20 years ago, which caused a huge amount of damage to our city. But it is worth remembering that Kenneth strengthened to a Category 5 hurricane prior to reaching land. And this is going to be, hopefully, just a Category 2. Regardless, preparations are underway. For example, local and state authorities are taking no chances, and they have announced the cancellation of all beach-related activities in town starting tomorrow. Classes in local schools are canceled for tomorrow as well. Residents are encouraged to dial 911 in case of any weather-related emergency through the weekend and at all times for that matter. Also, the tour of the local military base that was scheduled for this Sunday has also been canceled, so no up close and personal with our local members of the Marine. This will hopefully be resumed the following weekend. In other news, we've mentioned the updated changes to the state's mobility law in a couple of recent broadcasts, but primarily on whether you can or cannot smoke and drive in your car. Apparently you can, but not if you are a public transportation driver. However, if you are a driver at all, this article features all the new fines you can expect, as in the amount you will be expected to pay if you get a ticket out and about for the different violations that are or have been updated in this new law, which is now in effect throughout all 125 municipalities in the state of Jalisco. And with that said, let us turn over to our weather forecast. What a low energy sun, total lightweight, says our snarky weatherman. And of course, right now we're enjoying 26 degrees, feels like 30, humidity is at 97%, and our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees, if you're curious, is 79. Our forecast for today: no one would think that there's a hurricane coming. It is humid and mostly cloudy for today with a high of, with a high of 30 and a low of 24. Tomorrow, Saturday, we will get rain in the evening and overnight with a high of 27 and a low of 24. And Sunday, when we are expecting to get the hurricane, we'll have rain in the morning and afternoon with a high of 30 and a low of 22. Somehow, I don't think that snarky weather has much knowledge of hurricanes, because whenever we've had hurricane weather headed our way, we have not seen it reflected in the weather forecast program that we use. But what do I know? Anyhow, let's see. I do have, oh yes, I have some show and tell. I need to show you something beautiful that I found online, and I truly wish to share with you. In the spirit of Day of the Dead, which is getting nearer and nearer, you are looking at a gorgeous field of cempasúchil flowers or marigolds. This one is a field in the town of Atlixco, Puebla. But of course, we know that Puebla is not the only state where the weather is conducive to growing these beautiful flowers. The states of Guanajuato, Hidalgo, and of course the state of Mexico surrounding Mexico City are also the places where you can go and where the flowers not only are harvested, but you can also go and enjoy walking through the fields, whether you're in costume or not. There are all kinds of tours available for those living in the vicinity of these towns. It is absolutely beautiful to see this activity going on every year. As we know, the cempasúchil flower is a common denominator with the celebration of Day of the Dead. We mentioned just the other day how these beautiful flowers were used by the Aztec because of their color in ceremonial and medicinal activities. So I found these images and I thought I would share them with you and hopefully put a smile on your face. They certainly put a smile on mine. And now, without further, I was about to say that silly phrase. Without further ado, everybody uses that. I don't like the phrase. I don't know why. But we have an interview. Let's jump right in. I think we're good to go. So I am sitting here with Charlie. Charlie's the new owner of
Lesper PV.
Okay.
I used to be a Baplano Mexican kitchen.
Okay, so this is important because just 3 days ago, we were talking about your restaurant and we were coming up with a heated discussion of how to pronounce PHO. So say it one more time so that everybody knows exactly how to say it.
It's pho, and the O is silent. The correct pronunciation would be F-U-H. So it's pho.
Where are you from originally?
I was born in Vietnam. I was born and raised there, Saigon, Vietnam. But I left my country when I was 13, and I live in Houston, Texas. And now I'm here. So I'm in the U.S. most of my life. Yeah.
How did you decide to open the restaurant here in Puerto Vallarta?
Well, I've been coming here for years. The past 2 years, I have been coming here for almost every month. And then I just fell in love with the city, and it is such a fresh air to see the expat community, and even the locals are so welcoming and so supportive of small business owner, which is something so rare. I mean, to be honest, from the States, it's just something so rare to see. And even business owners, they are very helping each other out. They really want the whole community to succeed. And therefore, I just fell in love with that tradition and with the whole community coming together and becoming stronger. And there was none. There was no Vietnamese cuisine here, so I'm a proud Vietnamese man. And I wanted to introduce my culture and my cuisine to this beautiful town.
And not only are you the owner, but you're also in the kitchen.
Yes.
How did you develop a passion for, I hope it's a passion for cooking?
Oh yeah, it is. It is a passion because when I was a little kid, I always ate food at home. When I was a lot younger, my family didn't have much money, so we could not afford to go out to eat. And so my mom and my grandmom always cooked at the house for us every night. And I just grew up eating home-cooked meals, so like going out to eat is just something different. And then when I moved to the States, when I was only 13, that was without any family. So I moved to the States all by myself. My parents, my family joined me later on in life. So my first 5 or 6 years there as a kid, I didn't have no one, so I had to learn how to cook. Because without having a car, not being able to drive, I missed my cuisine, so I started learning how to cook on my own. And of course, with the help of my grandmom and my family over the phone, showing me how to cook dishes.
And is this your first restaurant ever?
No, this is my fourth restaurant. Wow. Yes, I used to have 3 restaurants in Houston. After COVID, I kind of consolidate down to 2. So in Houston, I still have 2 locations still in operation. So now this is my 3rd one, but really it's my 4th. Yeah.
Okay, so but you're so young. How old are you?
I am 34.
Definitely young. And is
looks
Charlie
17.
your actual name, or is Charlie some kind of American version of a name that is a different name?
Okay, well, it's actually funny, the story how I got the name Charlie, but my real name is actually Lee, and it's spelled with L-Y. And because the way it's spelled, most of the time when people saw that, they would just say lie. Because they don't know the correct pronunciation because it's a Y in English. But to be honest, it did not bother me much. But when I was a senior in high school, I went to a private high school, and I was the only Vietnamese at that place. And then all of my friends started calling me Charlie. I don't know, the meaning behind that or what they tried to do when they started calling me that. But later on, when I found out what that really means, I'm not going to go into details. So I'm like, after they learned about Vietnam War, and that's how they started calling me Charlie. So I'm like, actually, you know what? I think it's a cute name, and I'm gonna go with that. And then I changed all my name on all the paper. So now it's Charlie Lee Huynh. So my real name is now my middle name. Yeah, and that's how I got the name Charlie.
Let me ask you I have 2 more questions.
Yeah.
What would you say about your country's cuisine to someone who's never had it before? Like if somebody comes to you and says, well, I've never had Vietnamese cuisine, what can I expect at your restaurant?
Okay, well, Vietnamese cuisine is now as we're speaking very trendy in US and Canada. But but to some that never try our cuisine, we had a very rich history because of the war between the French and the war we had between the US. So a lot of our cuisine came from the French. Therefore, we had the Vietnamese sandwich, which served inside of a French baguette. And then the Vietnamese coffee, like it's our own, but it's, influenced by the French as well, because of the condensed milk and all that. And with the war with the U.S., so like each country dominated us for like decades. Okay, so we were influenced by their culture. So when it comes to our cooking, we don't use a lot of butter or fried food. A lot of it has to do with grilling and stir fry, and we use a lot of vegetable in our cooking. So it's a more leaner and cleaner option. And then soup. Our people just eat soup every day of the week, of the month. It doesn't matter. It could be 100 degrees outside, and we will still be sipping on a big bowl of soup. Yeah.
I love it. One final question. Is there something that I haven't asked you that you think people watching would want to know about you or your restaurant or the experience?
As far as food and an experience customer have with us here, and if I'm too busy to check on them, and if they leave, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's something I would love for them to know, is most of our products came in from Vietnam or US. Even if it came from US, it's still imported from Vietnam. So it's safe to say that most of our products came straight in from my home country, especially the spices and the Vietnamese coffee. I have a big family, and my family constantly visiting, and they would bring them in for me because I refuse to do fusion, and I refuse to stray from authenticity. This is part of me, and this is part of my identity, and this is what I'm introducing to Mexico, Vallarta, and that's why I want everything to be as authentic as possible.
Folks, I cannot tell you enough about how much I've enjoyed not only conversing with you, but also the food. It was absolutely wonderful. And I am sure you're going to be very, very successful here in Puerto Vallarta.
Thank you, Paco. And thank you for everyone's time watching this. And thanks again for stopping in to visit us today.
My pleasure. One final thing. You are open what days of the week and what times of the day?
We open every day except for Mondays between 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. So we serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We open all day.
Excellent. There you go, Coffee and Headlines. This was our interview with Charlie, the new owner of Let's Pho.
Or Let's Pho.
Well, let's find a way to pronounce this properly. It is complicated on the Mexican tongue.
The O is silent. So Let's Pho.
Let's Pho.
There you go.
Oh my God.
There you go. I mean, this is Vallarta, and I'm gay, so it's okay if you cannot pronounce the word pho correctly. You can find an alternative, and that's totally okay. That's why I name it Let's Pho. All puns intended.
Thank you very much, Charlie. This was a lot of fun. Everybody practice your pronunciation. Don't get confused with this, and most definitely come here and try the food.
Thank you, Paco. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, I'm watching this with you, and I am just so reminded of what a charming new restaurant owner Charlie is. I was not expecting, well, first of all, I didn't know that I was going to get to meet him. And then his enthusiasm, his appreciation is just amazing. So if you are familiar with Vietnamese cuisine, you are going to enjoy a place that is very much authentic, comes from the owner. And again, when I was there, I was with a friend that is a big expert or that has experience with Vietnamese food. And he told me, this is the real deal. And if you have not experienced this before, you know, it's healthy, It is wonderful. The restaurant, again, is located right across from Plaza Lázaro Cárdenas, where Poblanos used to be. And it is it's great. I cannot recommend it more than I have. Well, I can because I'm going to go back. I've never had Vietnamese coffee. Now I'm intrigued about it. Anyhow, this was our interview. Let me go back to the beginning of your comments and see what we have other than our beautiful good mornings, which brighten my day like you have no idea. Yes, Linda, time for Hurricane Watch. It's definitely headed our way, and let's just hope that in the process of becoming a hurricane, that the hurricane will not get carried away and it'll just stay like a little hurricaneette, like a tiny one. Let's see. Oh, hold on. See, I always forget this. There you go. Purim pum pum pum. Hola from the Marina, says Colleen Ferris. It's great to read you. Thank you, Daniel. I actually feel much better today, and I appreciate your asking. Thank you very much for that. Let's see. Logan is remembering 4 years ago to the date we were anticipating Hurricane Willa, hoping Roslyn proves to be a non-event like Willa. Stay vigilant. Absolutely. Bestie's supposed to be arriving Sunday from Texas. Hope they make it. Well, it's a good idea if you're planning to travel over the weekend. It's a good idea to keep your eyes open for airline cancellations and all that stuff. Let's see. Daniel, our local Mate correspondent, is scheduled to return to Puerto Vallarta December 28th for 3 months. Is crazy with happiness. Loco de felicidad. That is beautiful news. Bill asks, what is that thing on your microphone? You mean this black old thing? Well, it is a device that people put on microphones to prevent plosives from being too explosive. What is a plosive? Well, every time you say the letter P, as in Peter, your mouth produces a lot of wind. It just does. So when this air hits the microphone, it gets noisy. So this is designed to keep my plosives in check, and that way I can get really close to the microphone without making plosive sounds. It's difficult to explain, but ideally, if you are watching, then you are not hearing any plosives. And I'm not helping at explaining this properly. It's just something that we put in front of microphones to prevent them from making noise. And it was time for me to get one. I actually bought two. One is this plastic kind, and the other one is a foam kind, which I'm going to try tomorrow or next week. I'm not sure yet. Mijal, just send me your confirmation when you're on that plane. I know that my friend Mijal and her husband Barry are on standby somewhere in Canada, waiting to get on board a flight to come home. Yay! Let's see. Thank you, Bill. You're the expert here. I know that I studied music production and engineering, but you're the expert. It's called a windscreen or pop filter. Thank you. That's what I was trying to say. And I was wondering if you would notice that it arrived to the microphone. Linda has 4 days to PV. Mask for Day of the Dead packed. See, that was a plosive. Packed. Let's see. The marigold fields are beautiful, aren't they? I just thought you would enjoy getting a nice view of them. Are you saying that Paco gets windy? Of course Paco gets windy. And it's so funny that you would wonder whether I get windy or not. Last night, to add to my recovery, I decided to rely on an old trick. And it worked heavenly. And the trick is, well, rather than telling you what the trick is, let's just say that God was in a good mood when she invented camcorders, because camcorders are the perfect vehicle to videotape dogs and other animals farting. Yes, farting. And if you haven't watched YouTube videos of animals farting, you are missing out on one of the funniest experiences you can have on YouTube. And if you need some demonstration of this, just write the word fart in your comments and I'll bring you a choice selection of animal farts sometime in the near future. We'll add them to our what the fuck. Oh my God, our what the fuck bird. We haven't visited him in forever. Anyhow, that was not even the what the fuck bird, but that's the first button I could find. Moving right along. Let's see. Thank you for the Google, Sage. Sage very quickly went and did a nice copy paste. Much appreciated. And then I see your comments about the interview with Charlie. What a gorgeous space. Wishing you every success. I can't wait to try it. It is wonderful. Just wonderful. Laura confirms what I was saying earlier. This young man has amazing energy. Met him last week. Wishing him much success. Absolutely. Absolutely. Super charming. Definitely, says Marie. Super charming, yes. Kelsey has been there. This just doesn't come naturally. My pho there was delicious. Let's see what else we have. A delightful, well-spoken young man. Wonderful interview. Thank you very much. And yes, it was a great story. And there's more to the story, but I wanted to keep the interview concise. All I can tell you, and Charlie may volunteer information about this or not, you know, he's married, he's partnered, but challenges in life have meant that he needs to be away from his spouse while he puts together the restaurant. So we wish him the best. We truly wish him the best. Let's see. Oh my God, you nailed it, Paula, and you're absolutely right. This city is crazy when it comes to diversity of food. It is definitely a melting pot wherever you look. Josh says, what did I just come into? Let's let's absolutely do it. Let's see. Oh, funny Bill should say this. Bill, the new owner of Artisan Bakery, our new friend, says, what, you are such natural at interviewing. Well, Bill, we have to find out if you are a natural at being interviewed, because I have agreed or invited Bill to participate in an interview with me. As you know, Bill is the proud new owner of Artisan Bakery. We miss you, Raymond, but we like you, Bill. And we're going to find out about some new exciting changes that Bill is planning. And of course, Bill is actively participating in the Three Hens and a Rooster market, which is moving to the Isla Rio Cuale, but at a different location, right next to the new Indian restaurant. So we're hoping to get all that scoop from Bill next week when we sit down for an interview. Linda says, never had Vietnamese food, but certainly will now. You will be in perfect hands. He must be successful with 3 restaurants previously in Houston. I know, and he's so young. I mean, how inspiring is that? Thank you very much for that, Taylor. I love your show as well. Well, this is everyone's show. But I appreciate your words. Let's see. See, I tell you, there you go again. I love it. Is the restaurant fucking good? I can laugh about that now. So there. Let's see. Paco, we had those chicken wings. They were to die for. Was amazing. And Charlie was a nice guy. Great interview. Thank you very much for that, Bill. I just had the soup on my first visit, but I am going to definitely go back and try some of the other offerings at the restaurant. Oh, and something that was not even mentioned, he has a great cocktail menu. I had a mezcal-based cocktail that was absolutely delicious. Charles noticed that the windscreen stopped the thumping sound from the microphone when I installed it a few days ago. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Let's see. Oh my God. There are other people here that are into farting videos. I love it. Oh, I got you covered. I have you so fucking covered. It's not even funny. Oh my God. Oh, you have not lived until you've seen an iguana fart. And we'll definitely do that. Oh my God, there's a lot of people into fart humor here. I can't believe this. Oh dear. Oh, well, excuse me. I'm sorry, Sage. I didn't realize that you you did not copy and paste. My bad, but that was thoroughly researched. Thank you very much. And there's nothing wrong with copy paste in my book. And oh, thank you, Mark. So good to see you back on your game, Paco. Does my heart good. Yes, thank you very much. I am definitely back to my senses, I think. I hope. But you know, it's good to fall down every now and then because it reminds you that it's good to be up. You know, life has its ups and downs, and that's part of living. So as long as you fall, if you're going to fall, just make sure that you have people around you looking after you. That's my best suggestion for anyone. And this is, of course, the end of Coffee and Headlines. Thank you very much for sitting down for a few minutes with the rest of us. Tomorrow we'll be back, of course, and we will continue to keep track of the hurricane, which, of course, is important to keep track of. If there's anything important that pops up during the day, I will gladly post it on the Facebook page. If not, I'll see you here tomorrow morning, and if not tomorrow morning, hopefully sometime in the near future. Have an awesome Friday.